Thank you, Bill. Our gathering hymn this morning is number 21 in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. If you are willing and able, please stand. Welcome. Thank you, Mark. Good morning. I am Ashley Perkins, co-director of Religious Exploration and the worship leader this morning. We're happy to have many who are a part of today's service, including our wonderful musicians. We have Mark Haffner here this morning. We have Bill Hemminger and Jill Hemminger and Mark Wilson. Yeah. I also want to thank our tech team, Nancy Hicks and Molly Farrow. Thank you. So we are glad you're here. If you're a guest today and you're willing and able, we invite you to tell us who you are, where you're from, so that we may welcome you. Do we have any guests today that wish to be recognized? Oh, welcome. We're glad you're here. Molly, are there any online guests that wish to be recognized?
No guests today.
Okay. Well, thank you. Welcome. So we also have refreshments following the service, so we invite everyone to stay following. There's coffee, tea. I think there might be hot chocolate. I don't know. Okay. And cookies, yes. So now we will have our time for church announcements. I'll direct your attention to the website. It's uuevansville.org, and in our order of service, there are some listed. You can also have them monthly and weekly sent to your email. Just need your email address. If anyone is not getting that and wants to receive it, just fill out your little information on the card in the lobby. Okay. Are there any other related announcements to make this morning? Please come up to the microphone.
I'm going to keep passing around the Fall Festival sign up until you are all sick of me. And on a related note, I will need all of the fridge and freezer space when we start cooking. We're not going to have the overflow fridge over at Chalice House like we've had in the past. We do have a plan to cope with that, but also we're going to need all the space. So I am going to be cleaning out the fridge and the freezer in the next week or two. If you have something in there that you feel strongly about preserving, you need to adopt it into your own home fridge for a couple weeks, and then you can bring it back. Obviously, if it's not going to spoil like bottled water, I'll just set it out. But if it's perishable and it's in there, it's going to go in the trash. There is a large bag of frozen shrimp. I don't know whose it is, but I'm pretty sure it was there last year. So if it's your shrimp, claim it. Otherwise, I'm throwing it away.
That's funny. Thank you, Celeste. I also do want to make an announcement. Our pagan study group is meeting this Friday here at the UU from 7 to 8:30 p.m. We're having a Mabon ritual, so all are welcome to that as well. Are there any other announcements to make? No? Molly, are there any online announcements?
Not today.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we will take some time, transform our welcoming statement into action, take a few minutes, stretch your legs maybe, to greet one another. And when you come back, when I do the chime, that's when you'll come back to your seats. But first, let's say hi to everybody at home. The camera's back there. Hi, people at home. All right.
Check, 1, 2. Check, check. Another day has passed by in the small town where I live. I'm gonna try and make the big time. Sometimes it's just so hard to give. Now some people think I'm crazy, but I know that it's real. There's something deep down inside of me that says I must show how I feel. The road is long and lonely, and the people just don't care. They say I'll never make it, that the will just isn't there. Well, the will is down within me. I'll show how wrong they are. I know that I can make it. I'm reaching for the stars. A dream in the making, that's where I am. It's mine for the taking, if I'll just play my hand. Dream in the making, I'll walk through rain or shine. There's no estimating, gotta wait for Father Time. Another day has passed by in the city where I live. I'm still trying to make the big time. Sometimes it's just so hard to give. And some people thought me crazy, but now I've come this far. I'll never end my venture. I'm reaching for the stars.
Thank you, Mark. Excellent. Can I have a volunteer this morning to light our chalice? Thank you, Brian. I almost was going to pick somebody randomly. So our chalice lighting this morning was written by Marnie Singer. The chalice is the container, the space where the musicians and the listeners gather. The oil is the fuel, the hours of practice and the life experiences of everyone in the room. The wick is the instruments and vocal cords through which the music will flow. And the flame is the music which is created as if by magic. When the instruments are lifted, the breath is inhaled and the downbeat is nodded. May this flame ignite the music within us all. We will now have our offering. Love is the spirit of this beloved community, and service is its law. This is our great promise to each other, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. For these purposes, we have united today in worship. And if you are a guest, please allow the plate to pass you by. Your presence is our gift. Can I have 2 volunteers to pass the plate? Thank you for your gifts, and thank you for joining us here this morning. So things look a little differently for the Story for All Ages. I am combining the Story for All Ages into our opening words. That way we can get to the music sooner. So for our Story for All Ages, I kind of wanted to talk about music in my life a little bit. So in my youth, I would attend heavy metal shows. Has anyone ever attended a heavy metal show? Yeah. Okay, does anyone know what a mosh pit is? Right? Okay, cool. Has anyone ever been in a mosh pit? Okay. So why am I bringing this up? So far from being pure chaos, mosh pits foster a sense of community built on trust, camaraderie, and a shared passion for the music. So this environment allows for cathartic release and emotional connection, governed by an unspoken but vital code of conduct that prioritizes safety and mutual respect. And I thought that was such a rich symbol for our community too. So thank you for joining our mosh pit this morning. So moshing can be a physical and emotional release from the restrictions and pressures of daily life, kind of like what we're doing here this morning. And it's kind of a controlled chaos. And I like to think of our community as a little bit of a controlled chaos situation. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. It's therapeutic. It can be a shared, intense experience. Has anyone had an intense experience like that here? Or, yeah? Okay. There's the ritual of trust. People are willingly placing their well-being in the hands of this group, kind of like what we're doing here. Observers might see only aggressive collisions, but participants often view it as a ritual of social cooperation, which I think was really cool. There's shared sense of identity. Moshing offers a way for fans of heavy music to connect with like-minded people. This forms a strong sense of community and shared identity, especially within subcultures that often feel alienated. So, anyway, I really just love the idea of the mosh pit, and we're all in this mosh pit together, so thank you for that. Those are my opening words. Okay. Yeah. We will now. I will put one more pebble in the bowl for any of those that are to share. So cool. Okay. May we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in our hearts. Okay. Our meditation this morning was written by Joel Tishkin. The ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras taught that the universe was composed entirely of numbers, and numbers corresponded to music. So the entire universe, all of reality, including us, was composed of numbers and music. The planets of the ancient world each resonated a frequency outward into the universe. So the image here, that Molly, thank you, Molly, for finding that. The image here is a 19th century depiction of that musica universalis, which translate to universal music, or harmony of the spheres. Each planet a different note on the musical scale. So their music was not something we heard audibly, but their cosmic vibration or resonance could impact us as all music could. Pythagoreans believed that music purified and nourished our souls, keeping us spiritually healthy, in the same way exercise and nutrition does for our body. It's pretty cool. So I invite you into a time of contemplation. What music do you need to purify or nourish your soul right now? Do you need a peppy tune to make you smile and dance? Perhaps you need a love ballad to help you celebrate a love in your life. Or do you need a sad song to speak to you about a loss in your life? Maybe you need a dirge to help you grieve and mourn a tragedy or a loss. Or do you need a happy song to help you celebrate an aspect of your life? Do you need a cacophony of noise to rattle you into a new awareness? Perhaps you need a calm lullaby to bring you peace and serenity. As we enter into our moment of silence, I invite you to consider the song that is speaking to you at this moment. Imagine it is resonating within you, but also outward in all directions, bringing your resonance to those next to you, then the people next to them, outward until it fills the room, connecting you with everyone else, communicating where you are today. And may our collective silence bring harmony to ourselves and everyone in our orbit. Now we'll have a moment of silence and sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. I have been looking forward to this service ever since it was manifested. I've been so excited. So I'm really happy that you all could make it for this. I love it. Today, we are taking time to celebrate and show gratitude for these musicians who are sharing with us this morning. Now, this is a group of kind-hearted, talented, and passionate people who have blessed us with their time, their personalities, their souls, and their music. And now we're going to have our time where they're going to each present something. So Bill Hemminger and Jill Hemminger often play together. They have played here many times before today, their friendly faces, out even at Patrick Central. Together, they have a combined musical experience that varies between choral composing, singing, playing the piano, and the flute. So, welcome.
I don't want to say anything. Let's go. We're doing two things.
Okay, so Bill is letting the music speak for itself this morning.
34 years now. But I wanted to tell you that in November 8th, the Philharmonic is presenting the Brahms Requiem, which is a beautiful, beautiful piece. It's actually, if you've heard requiems, they're very often, almost always, with the Catholic Mass in mind. This one's a little different, which I didn't really think about too much until Bill wrote the program notes for this concert. And I don't know if you want to say anything about it, except that it's more Protestant, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, it's more Protestant things that Brahms liked, that beautiful, beautiful music. If you want to go to that. Let's see, the other thing was that I wanted to tell you that you may notice that Bill has not taken glasses on and off today. He actually got real glasses instead of reading glasses. And finally, this is very different. This is a suite for flute and piano, and it's Baroque and blue. Jazz piano, sorry. Suite for flute and jazz. And well, you want to see me, Bill?
Oh, thank you. That was so amazing. Oh, I am overwhelmed at the moment. Hold on a second. Whew. Okay. That was incredible. Okay. Mark Haffner grew up partially in this UU community. I don't know if anybody knew that. I love that. Mark has decades of music experience. Hold on a second, that was great. This Emmy-winning musician has composed music for films and television, collaborating with a variety of performers over his lifetime. We are very thankful to have him as part of our music team here at the UUCE. Welcome, Mark.
Okay. Unlike Bill, I'm going to talk. Thank you for this opportunity. I rarely get the chance to really kind of share my story, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about my musical journey and how I got to where I am and how it happened. It's 1967 in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm 2 years old. My mom hears me playing this melody on a toy piano in the family room. She said, "This kid's got some sort of talent." And I think it's really very lucky for me that someone saw that. So I thank her for that. And I went on to take piano lessons. My father plays the violin. She played the piano and sang church songs at the piano. And so I went into piano lessons. I'm going to try to play a little piece of my piano lessons. I started studying some classical music. And I haven't played this song in so long, so I wanted to put it as part of my story. And that was the foundation of sort of learning about music. And then I started watching television and movies and fell in love with the music in the movies and TV. In the 6th grade, I started playing the tenor saxophone. And so I was allowed to play a song, which I'm going to play on the piano, a little bit of it. Whatever, play it on. This is the one thing I learned after. I couldn't play that in the 6th grade. I didn't know what that was. That's a minor major 7 chord add 9. Come on. So that's the good stuff. So then in 1977, I heard the Doobie Brothers play. There was a winter where I had a we were out of school for a week, and I rode around with a gentleman, and 16, I'm 12. We listened to the Doobie Brothers. I fell in love with rock and roll. And I said to my friend, I said, I'm going to start a rock band. He said, you can't do that. I said, why not? He said, you don't play guitar. I said, you don't need to play guitar in a rock band. He said, yes, you do. Well, I had a motorcycle, and I sold it for a synthesizer because I said, I am going to have a rock band. So I started having basement jams, much to my dad's chagrin. Turn it down, he would say. But then we did our first gig at a mental hospital facility, which my father was working. And then we sounded horrible. But they loved us. And being that I love to make people happy, I thought, well, this music thing's pretty good idea. And so I kept going on that path towards music. Fast forward to, I'm about 15 years old, and KC 103, now WGBF, had a contest for local bands that you could submit for to being on a record. And we thought, oh, this is it. This is great. But you have to have an original song. The original song was the one that I played earlier, the Dream in the Making song. I wrote that when I was 15. And it made it on the radio. It made it into the contest. It got on the album. And there were 10 bands, and all of them were hard rock until the very last song on the B-side, where that piano started playing, and it was just a relief from all of this heavy rock and roll. We got noticed. The song started playing on the radio. We won the contest. You know, all these other people are 30 years old. We're 15, 16 years old. We win the contest. We get offered a little record deal. What are we going to do? Well, we always told our parents we were going to college. So we turned it down. We said, we're going to college. One thing you should note, though, is that all of the members became professional musicians. It was enough to give us confidence to say, you know, we can do this music thing. And so we went to college, and before that, actually, I want to go back a little bit to some of my other musical influences during that time. At high school, I was a very active band member. I played the saxophone, learned to play the snare drum, sometimes played the mallets and xylophone, marimba. I became the band captain, and I had to be in choir, too. I said I have to do it all, so I took summer school between my senior year and junior and senior year so that I could take all music classes my senior year of high school. And that expanded my exposure to other music, which was really great and was really important. I was in regional and state bands and choirs, and I got to be under conductors from college level and professional level people. Carl St. Clair, I have a memory of, and feeling very fortunate that we were studying under somebody who knew so much about music. We played a song from Lohengrin that had all whole notes from Wagner. And I remember looking at the page thinking, oh God, it was all whole notes. I mean, how in the world can you make music with whole notes? But it was one of the most powerful musical experiences I'd ever had. Just playing that whole notes and building all the way to this triumphant ending. So being in other musical ensembles helped me to expand my musical palette. But I had yet to be into jazz music. I listened to classical and rock music. But jazz music had not been in my world yet, and the Maynard Ferguson Band came as a fundraiser to the high school, our stage band, and got to play, and I was nervous, got to play a saxophone solo, you know, hear these professionals. And then I heard the piano player play this long 7-minute, as I remember it, piano solo, and I asked him after the show, I said, Ron, his name is Ron Pedley, how long did it take you to write that song? And excuse my French, but he said, oh, I just made that shit up. And it blew my mind. I thought, this is, and I neglected to mention that there were 12 members, and 6 of them were from North Texas State University. I said, I have to go there. I don't know anything about jazz, but I mean, what are they teaching at this place? So I went to North Texas State University, and I studied saxophone and jazz. And I was in the practice room for 6 hours a day, and I wasn't sure why or what I was doing, but I was learning about bebop jazz and all kinds of things. And I learned lots of more chords. So jazz came into my life, and that one's called Where Sunny Gets Blue. You might recognize it. It's a jazz standard. I learned what jazz standards are. We got a piece of music book that was not, you may have heard of the fake book, but they gave us the real book. And the real book was basically where musicians had certified it. It was probably unofficial. In fact, you can still find the real book. And I don't even think it's legal. I don't think it licenses all of the music like you're supposed to, like Hal Leonard does. But it had all of the right charts. It had all the right melodies. It had the right chords. It wasn't screwed up. And so musicians played out of it. A lot of standards. And so I learned what standards were. So that was an important step. And actually, I wanted to, I'm skipping around a little bit. There was a couple of moments in high school, in addition to the band and choir, where I got to sing. I wasn't just a musician anymore. I was just starting to sing songs, which is what I'm actually coming back to these days. I've started singing more songs here, and I've enjoyed singing, and I'm getting back to my songwriting roots because I later got into mostly instrumental things. But let's see if I can do this one. Let's see. I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. I got to sing that solo because I could hit the high notes. Other people couldn't hit that note. And then I went and did another musical. Kids who, I'll see if I can do what it is. Kids, I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids who can understand anything they say. Kids, actually, I did this with my Paul Lynde impersonation. Kids, they're disobedient. Oh, shut up. Disrespectful loaves. Noisy, crazy, sloppy, lazy loafers. And while I'm on the subject, kids. That was an audition I did where I auditioned for the part and I didn't get it. And then I saw the movie with Paul Lynde and I said, I can do that. So I went back and I did my Paul Lynde and the director fell on the floor and she said, you got that part. And I was, oh my God, shut up. That whole thing that he did. I thought, okay, so then I got onto the stage, I was doing musicals. And now I'm at college, which I jumped ahead, but they tripled tuition in Texas my junior year. So I transferred into Nashville to Belmont University. Belmont University had a recording studio, which was multi-track. I ran the studio at North Texas State, but there was only a 2-track stereo. We were recording classical concerts. But I wanted to go back into the multi-track like I had been when I was 15. I said, that's what I want to do. And I somehow knew that my idols who were rock stars had a life that I didn't want. I knew I wanted to have a family and children. So I said, I'm going to be a studio producer. And so when I got back to Nashville and into their studio, I had only been at college for a week. I took a class in Engineering 101, which I'm 20 years old at the time, and I'd already known all that material for engineering, and I went and took the final exam because I knew it. I knew the material. And after making an A after the first week of class, the teacher said, "You want to start a jingle company?" So I did. So immediately into Nashville, I started producing in much bigger studios than what the school had to offer, and learned with a lot of other people in the professional world who were arrangers and people who were professionals that are, many of them still working today. A lady named Chris Wilkinson was a mentor, and you'll see her name on lots of records. I think she just did something with Dolly Parton. I mean, she's been doing it ever since I left to go to Los Angeles and come back, which is what happened to me. I did a jingle for Opryland. I wrote the theme for their theme park. I don't know if I can sing it or not, but let's see. Let's see. Now I can't remember the words. I know I got the right key though. Where's the fun? It's up an octave higher. Where's the fun? Opryland, USA. Great shows, great rides, great times. Have the time of your life. Opryland, USA. That was 1989, 1990. So I had incredible musicians. Mark O'Connor, Edgar Meyer. Edgar Meyer did a record with Yo-Yo Ma called Appalachian Strings. I mean, and these people were recording my music. So it was pretty fantastic. And it helped to raise the bar for me. Neglected to say that when I got to Nashville, I thought, these musicians don't know how to do anything. They don't know all these chords. They don't know all these jazz chords. And then I learned the kind of music that they know how to do, which has the heart in it, you know. And Nashville became something that I appreciated. So moved to Sacramento, started working in television. Actually, I was a production company in Nashville that did music for television. I met my future wife, moved to Sacramento. Did music for San Francisco 49ers, wrote their game theme that was for KXTV or KGO, I can't remember, one of the stations in San Francisco. Ended up doing news package for KIRO TV in Seattle with the Seattle Symphony. And the Seattle Symphony recorded all of my music for the news. The news ended up being a really interesting exploration of different styles of music. Then went to Los Angeles after having my first child in Sacramento, and then a couple more children in Los Angeles. And then I wrote a theme for the Disney Channel. Whoa, hey, hey, fly away, fly away, fly away to a magical world, world of wonder like no other. This is where Tinkerbell flies in. And that was the magical world of Disney. You can see that on my YouTube channel online. So that was a big deal. And we moved to Florida to finish raising our children. And I continue to work with my Los Angeles and LA clients and New York clients from my studio in Pine Island near Sanibel Island in Florida. And then was divorced. We finished raising the children, and I returned back to Kentucky and Nashville, and was traveling on hiatus after a while, deciding now that I've had a career, what do I do now? Well, I had my rock band reunion, and Dad and Mom were there, which was fantastic after 30 years. And 3 months later, my mom died. So I just made it in the nick of time. I really feel fortunate that happened. Went to New York and studied acting for a few months for a summer. Was looking in other areas of creative exploration. Had a video production company in Nashville for a little while. But now I'm returning back to music. And I'm in Nashville during the week now. I was in here in Henderson, spending more time with my father, and I have a girlfriend, Jenny. But music has always been my calling, and I'm headed back into another era, which I don't really know what that looks like. But it's exciting, and once you have, Mark Wilson and I were saying that once you have music in your soul, you can't take it out. It just has to happen. You have to keep doing it. You can't stop it from doing that. So this past week, I was working on a song, and I want to share something with you, which is kind of unusual. I was working with on a song that I didn't write. It was with a music artist and songwriter named Paul Hampton, who's 89 years old. And Paul wrote a song called Sea of Heartbreak, which was recorded by Don Gibson, later by Bruce Springsteen and Johnny Cash. And so he was recording with me and recording. I'm engineering on this session, mixing and making the sound. Well, the song that we were doing, I'm going to play a little piece of it on my thing here so you can hear it. It started out really wonderfully, and we have some beautiful B3 organ and piano on it. But the singer wasn't quite right. And so then Paul did a version where he speaks. I'll play you a little piece of that.
The higher I rise, live between heaven and earth, leave all your fears behind.
Paul's an actor as well. And so we did a spoken version after the singer didn't do the job that we had hoped, because we didn't have a vocal version of it. So then we decided, well, we wanted to do something else, so we actually produced an AI version. And I want to play that for you.
When I think of the promise education brings, we light up the sky as if we had wings. These are the words I was born to teach every boy and girl. Open hearts, open minds, save the world.
I won't play you the whole song, but it's called Open Hearts, and that vocalist is not a real person. And we were really in a stuck place with our music. We had produced all the music we did, but we just didn't have the right singer. And when this came around, we said, this is really going to help people hear the song. And we felt good about what we were doing with it, because we had written we don't know as musicians whether we're over by AI. We're expressing ourselves, and we found it to be an extension of our creativity and finding a singer that we wanted for our song. So my journey continues, and I'll keep writing, and I'm also working on some scoring music for movies, as well as working with other music artists and things for what they call sync licensing, where you put music into movies and TV shows, which has turned out to be one of the most lucrative ways of making music in production and writing. So that's where we are today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking us on your musical journey and continuing on your musical journey with us. It's excellent. Thank you. That's so cool. Mark Wilson has been a part of the UU for years now. He's played as many songs from our hymnals as well as a variety of rock and folk music. He adds his own spin on things, and we appreciate his unique perspective on songs, music, and the occasional lawnmower. Welcome.
I fought the lawn and the lawn won. Okay, yeah. I even got the T-shirt, or my wife did. So I really didn't know what to talk about. You guys know what imposter syndrome is? Because I can't sight read, I've always felt intimidated by other musicians that can read music, and because I play by ear, so I feel like not a real musician, but everybody know that's crap, right? That's crap. Everybody say that's crap. Thank you, I feel better now. So when there were some questions that, we could talk about if we wanted to, that the worship committee, Ashley, somebody came up with. Anyway, what moment did you know you were a musician? Which is a tough question because some things just kind of evolve slowly. Jamie twisted my arm and is making me tell you this story. Okay, okay, no. I was 6, 7 years old, and my sisters, I was the youngest, I had 5 sisters, and they had this album produced by a local radio station of just all the local hits. And there was one song on there called Wipeout. Anybody remember that? Anyway, Wipeout. And so I was, really, really young, but my sister had, one closest to me in age, had a plastic pink guitar. And this pink guitar had little hippie flowers on it and stuff. And I knew with the song that was came on before, you know how you memorize an album? You know what the next song is going to be. So I don't remember what the previous song was now, but I knew this was the song right before Wipeout. So when this song came on, I was rushing around looking for that pink guitar, and I would finally find it. I'd put it on, and as soon as Wipeout started, I was pretending to play like this, and I made everybody watch me, And one day, my sister, being my sister, hid the guitar on that song, and I cried like a baby. And finally, my mom was like, "Give Mark that guitar." So she was like, "All right." And it wasn't until today that I realized I have 2 stealing my sister's guitar stories. When I was 12 or 13, for Christmas, my parents gave us instruments. My uncle had a tenor banjo, and they bought it was a real guitar, but it was one of those cheapies, And she got the guitar and I got the banjo. So I was starting to learn to read a little bit, just single note stuff, but the guitar was much more. That came in. So I would listen. All, there was Uriah Heep, Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath, all these excellent classic rock albums, and I was just soaking it all in. I'd lay on the couch and just put on a record and just listen, album after album. And so my mom and dad were just noticed how much of an interest in music I had. And they decided to go to Montgomery Ward. And for about $100 or so, there was a little electric guitar and an amplifier combo. And they got me that for one Christmas. And I don't know if they regret it or not, because I wonder if I can play it. I don't know. This was supposedly the theme from a James Bond movie, and I dropped my pick. One of the easiest songs ever. And my neighbor, who was my age, also got a guitar and an amp, and we were in my bedroom, and we played that song for hours. So you can imagine how homicidal my parents were feeling. And, but I just, like Mark said, if it's in your DNA, it's in your soul, and you just can't not do it. And I just fell in love with music. And when I was in high school, I decided, well, I had friends that were in band, and I was not in band. I was not interested in band. I just wanted to play rock and roll. But I got up on stage, and there was a xylophone, and it's kind of set up like a piano. I'm like, that's interesting. So I grabbed a couple of mallets, and I was just messing around, and the music teacher's like, huh. So not that I learned to read very well, but got to the xylophone. I just wanted to learn everything. I played the drum set for high school and spent a lot of time. Actually, I became a Christian when I was 16 and spent most of my life as a worship leader in a Christian church. That's my background. I left the Christian church, but here I am, still playing guitar in a church. But I just really enjoy playing music. I can't explain. I mean, people have asked me, how do you do that? You just get up to the piano and you just start playing something. I can't explain it. It's like I know music theory enough to go, okay, I think I'm gonna play an E minor and the parallel major, and I just start farting around with the chords. And what did you say about shit just happens or something like that? Yeah, I can't explain it. It's just, I fell in love with music. I learned a little bit about music theory, and I know what chords go with what chords, and I just fly with it. And so it's like, how do you explain someone who paints a beautiful picture? How do you explain science fiction, stuff that doesn't even exist? People just make this shit up, Was that the sentence? Okay, all right. Just make it all up. And it's like creativity. How do you explain creativity? They call it a gift from God or evolution, whatever you believe in. It just flows from you. And people who write plays, it just comes out of you. And I think Barbara talked about how it goes from the brain to the hands to the instrument, and it's just weird. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is, but it's magic. Yeah. So, all right, I know we're out of time, so I'm just gonna end with this real quick. Make me do a song. So I asked around a few years ago, I just wanted to learn some songs. Like, if you were in a bar and you heard a guitar player playing something, what songs would you want them to do? So I got a list, and one was You've Got a Friend, which is done by, that was a trick question, wasn't it? I hear Carole King and I hear James Taylor. Carole King wrote it, okay? James Taylor made it pretty famous. So I did that song, and then and one of them said, oh, I meant the other You've Got a Friend. I'm like, what other song is it, You've Got a Friend? The one in Toy Story. Oh, here we go. Oh, you got a friend in me. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna learn that one too. So I did. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully I won't butcher it. You've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Oh yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, we see it through, 'cause you got a friend in me. Oh yeah, you got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, as the years go by. Our friendship will never die. Gonna see it's our destiny, yeah. 'Cause you got a friend in me, oh yeah. You got a friend in me, ba-da-ba-da-ba. You got a friend in me. Thank you.
Excellent. This has been such a pleasure this morning, everybody. Oh my goodness. I'm so ecstatic. So thank you all for being here and sharing with us. Now would normally be our response time. I'm going to push that when we go to refreshments. So if anyone has any responses, please check that out when we're doing coffee. We will now have our closing hymn. It's 10:10, We Give Thanks, in the teal hymnal.
It's just my Kindle, no big deal. Please stand if you're willing and able. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We're all gathered here, no far away, for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We're all gathered here, no far away, for this time we share love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
We'll now extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. So for our closing words, I'm inviting Tom Moore up. He has our closing words today.
These are a few short thoughts about music, and I will share them with you. In the house of lovers, the music never stops. The walls are made up of songs, and the floor dances. Where words fail, music speaks. Rumi. Without music, life would be a mistake. Nietzsche. One good thing about music, when the music hits, you feel no pain. Bob Marley. Music is a higher revelation than all wisdom and philosophy. It is the new procreation, and I am Bacchus who presses out this glorious horn for men and makes them drunk with the Spirit. Beethoven. Music is liquid architecture. Architecture is frozen music. Goethe. If I were not a physicist, I would probably be a musician. I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. Albert Einstein. And finally, after silence, that which comes close to expressing the inexpressible is music. Aldous Huxley.
Thank you so much. May we each be blessed by the presence and the power of music in our lives. And go in peace, and may your living bless our world. Amen and blessed be.